So obviously over the last couple of days, there's been a lot going on, like in the news and on social media regarding the whole George Floyd situation, which obviously then in turn sparked off the whole Black Lives Matter movement once again. As a result, we've heard a lot of comments and like a lot of people jumping out saying that like, oh, why are you getting involved? You're a Black person, but you're in Ireland. Like, what's it to do with you? And we just kind of want to shed light on the whole situation and kind of give more awareness that just because we're not in America and just because we're not facing like, you know,
getting chased by police and shot in the head and stuff like that, doesn't mean that there's nothing happening here. Like, and the fact that people actually use that argument shows the level of ignorance that there is in Ireland when it comes to the issue of racism and stuff like that. I didn't make this video to start calling Irish people racist or anything like that. That's not the point of the video. The point of the video is to just let people know what's really going on. Like, this isn't going to go away. It doesn't matter how many people come up and protest. It doesn't matter how many of your mates put up a black page on Instagram and say all these nice things about Black people deserve the right to live and stuff like that. It's not going to change it, because you have to remember, like, for every person that you have that's a mate that thinks like that, there's going to be equally as more that are so ignorant and don't even believe any of that stuff. Like,
but people would still always stop us in the street. I remember like constantly being stopped in the street. Like, you'd have fully grown adults like pulling your hair and like kind of touching you as if you're kind of like some sort of weird creature that they'd never seen before. In hindsight, you kind of realize how messed up that is, that someone thinks it's okay just to touch another person's child. Like, you don't know them. Like, what are you doing? So people often ask me, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Westport. No, but where are you really from? I was like, well, I was born in London, but I've lived in Westport my whole life. Oh, so you're Irish? Well, yes, I told you I was Irish at the start of this conversation. Like, I don't know why it took you 6 questions to come to the conclusion that I've already made about myself. I had once incident a guy in a smoking area tried to set my hair on fire as a joke. And then got really irate that I got angry with him for trying to set me on fire. Always around Halloween, you always got these like weird questions, and like you'd be seeing gangs in blackface and then they would like ask you to pose for a photo with them, which was just so utterly bizarre. It was like, it would be laughable if you're just kind of like, you're doing something that's really offensive and wanting someone that you're offending to take a photo with you so you can share it with your friends as a joke. Like,
to be honest, like it's hard to even know where to start with everything. Like Michael was just saying, obviously there's so many people that don't believe what we're saying.
No.
And if you think about it, right, even the fact that we have to explain as Black people that our lives matter, that's
so it's a madness, it's a mad situation.
Like, it's so crazy.
It's a mad situation that you have to come out and protest so that you can be given the right to live, not only just live, but live equally as everybody else. Like, it's a crazy situation. Everybody's out here, and I see some people getting carried away. It's like, oh, this is great, everybody's coming together.
LAB.
So I remember like when I first moved to Rialto, and I was out playing like with the kids in the area, and we were doing like a dip, and it was like eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a nigger by the toe. I'd never heard that word before in my life. And I was probably with like a big American accent on me, was like, oh, what's a nigger? And somebody was just like, you are. And I remember someone hitting me, and I was like, oh, God. It became quite charged.
The thing that used to annoy me an awful lot was because my friends when I was a kid used to say, they'd crack a joke about someone on television, black or something, and I'd say, that's out of order. I'd say, yeah, but we don't mean you're not really black, you know? And I was like, but I am, you know?
Over the last couple of days, a load of people have not been saying anything. It just wasn't a problem that they were interested in. They didn't care to know. It doesn't bother them. It doesn't bother their family. They just don't care. But then now, all of a sudden, like, it's Blackout Tuesday, and I'm seeing so many people posting these black pages, and I'm like, do you even know what it represents? Do you know what we're here for? Do you know what we're trying to do? Do you care? That's the real question. Do you care?
It's not even like, it's just such a. It's so funny because when people talk about racism, they talk about it like it's something that somebody can actually sit and fix, or we can actually come out and come up with an idea to fix it. You can't fix something like that because racism is a choice. People choose to be racist.
People might say to you, well, how can you be Irish, or if you look like you're a bit African and you should know your roots. So sometimes people would get angry with you then. How can you go around saying you're Irish and when you know you're not? And you were like, but I don't know.
It's not like, oh my God, it's only because they're ignorant. No, they're fully aware of it. It's part of like people's identities and stuff like that. For instance, I'll give you the example. Like, you have some lad who lives in the back arse of nowhere, nothing like that. He doesn't really have much going for himself, not successful, doesn't have anything, but he's Irish. He can hang on to that he's Irish. And he's always going to hang on to that. Like, that's going to be his main thing. And to him, people like us, we're not Irish. No. So that's going to be, oh, I'm better than them because you're not Irish. Like, that's the whole thing with it. It's not about... It's not just, oh my God, racism is terrible. You need to understand why people are like this. And once you understand why people are like this, you understand you can't fix that. Unless you're going to go start psychologically evaluating loads of people all over the world. Like, they need it to survive. They need that. They need to think like that, to think of themselves. What do you want them to do? Stop thinking like that? And then what? And then they all of a sudden they have nothing to believe in. That's what it is to them. Like, it's they genuinely believe that by degrading somebody else that's from a different place, they're worth more basically than us. That's basically what it is. Like, and people don't get it. They're talking about it like it's something you're protesting is gonna fix. Protesting is not gonna do jack shit.
No, it's not.
After all these protests, in 2-3 weeks, that's gonna disappear. You're gonna go back to the exact same life, and the exact same bullshit is gonna kick off again.
Yeah.
The people who are nice are always gonna be nice, but the problem is the vast majority that don't give a rat's about it. That's what I keep saying. It's not about your mates who are posting. It's about all your other mates who are watching it and not saying anything about it. Like.
And it's about their family. It's about their parents, their brothers, their sisters.
What's the difference between me and George Floyd? What? Because I'm in Ireland and he's in America. I could have been born over there and it's the exact same crack.
You know.
I don't know how people come up with these theories. Oh yeah, you're in Ireland, so you shouldn't care about that. Just because you don't care about it, because it's not important to you, doesn't mean I shouldn't as well. Like,
exactly.
Because we're not in the same shoes. We're not living the same lifestyle. We don't go through the same things. Like, Ireland's a place where black people are tolerated. They're not accepted as tolerance, and I keep saying it because at some point, it always happens. Tolerance isn't good enough. You can only tolerate somebody for so long. If I come into your house and I'm a guest, you're going to tolerate me for a certain period of time until I do something that you don't like. Then you're going to react because it's your house and I'm just there as a guest. And I keep saying this, it's tolerance, not acceptance. Don't get it mixed up. We're not welcomed here, we're just tolerated. And that's the problem, like growing up outside of Dublin and the fringes of Dublin, like, because obviously you go into a class, you're the only black lad there. You learn to be a certain kind of way, and if you don't slap yourself out of it, you'll be that kind of way your whole life. Like, you'll never understand what you are, who you are. Like, you never be comfortable with yourself. Like, you don't understand how deep it runs. This is deep. You're not going to solve this. The only thing you can do is just take preventative measures to make sure it doesn't spiral out into violence. You're not going to fix crazy. It's impossible. Like, I can be walking into a shop and somebody's going to have a look at me. One of the people at it are going to look, and she's just not going to like me. Yeah. It's just a thing. It's just the way it is. Like, it's not like, I'm not saying it's okay, but that's the way it is. Like, people can't hide with their racism anymore. If you expose it, then there's a better chance of something being done about it. Yeah. It's different when it's all hidden and everybody's just doing stuff in the background and getting away with it and all. Yeah, that's 100%. Different than when you bring it out
What we're trying to do is create awareness, so at least people who are ignorant, people who genuinely don't know,
understand it,
you can understand. When we say Black Lives Matter, we're not saying that all lives don't matter. We're not saying that everyone doesn't go through their own hardship and, you know, horrible experiences. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying that some races don't get prosecuted for being black, for the color of their skin. They don't get killed. They don't get shot. They don't get abused because of the color of their skin. We understand that things happen to everyone. What we're asking for is to be treated like everyone else.
I can't sit there and say all lives matter
You really can't.
when literally one group of people are just getting singled out and finessed all the time.
So what is
what
that
you mean by
statement
all
supposed to
lives
mean?
matters? Like
It's
how's it all lives matter? How does that make any sense? Do you not care?
It's pure
Do you not care? I don't need to be like you to care about you. That's mad.
Exactly.
The good people aren't saying anything, and the bad people are just doing more and more and more. So whether or not you feel like you're scared for your life by saying something, because that's what it is. A lot of black people are terrified to say stuff. You're gonna have to say something now before it gets too late to say anything. You still have some power right now to do stuff about this.
Yeah, spread the information that people understand, because I feel like that is a big thing. Like obviously if you're hearing something all the time and you don't really understand what they mean by when we say, oh yeah, there's racism in Ireland or there's racism in the UK, you know, it's all over the world. I get that you don't understand, because it's not just like when you have a bunch of people coming out and saying the same thing over and over again.
It's not like by chance. It's not. We're not just making stuff up. Like, it's not random.
It's not random.
It's not just one race of people complain about something.
Exactly.
For no reason. Like,
you know what I mean? Like, it's not made up.
But we leave it at that anyway, because I think we said what we need to say. And everybody needs to put their own input on it.
Yeah.
Because we all have our own unique stories. That's all. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
LAB.